The ceramic dagger was both overlooked and an underutilized weapon until the introduction of Incarnon Genesis. What's going on, guys? It's Swimsy here, and in today's video we are going over the Incarnon ceramic dagger. In this video I'm going to show you the best build that I've created, and we are going to go over the Incarnon choices and test the weapon out in the Simulacrum and Steel Path. Before we get into it, if you did enjoy this video, please consider liking, sharing and subscribing, as it does help me out and so you never miss any future uploads. With that being said, let's get straight into it. So this is the ceramic dagger, and there is no other alternate counterpart. It is purely just the base ceramic dagger, and you can pick this up from Nightwave. The ceramic dagger can only be acquired through Nightwave, so it can be a bit of a pain to get a hold of, but trust me, this weapon is worth it in the long run, and I'm going to go through the build right now. So this is the build that I have for you today. Now, I don't really run melee weapons. I don't like melee weapons, so I have one build for you, and it does include a Riven. I'm not gonna lie, ceramic dagger Rivens cost a fortune, and yeah, I don't want to tell you how much I spent on this. I would only use a Riven if you have it. It does help the weapon out significantly. Starting off, we have Stinging Thorn in the stance mod. Then we have Condition Overload, plus 80% melee damage per status type affecting the target. We also have Focus Energy, plus 40% heavy attack efficiency and plus 60 electricity. We have Primed Fever Strike for that 150% toxin. We have Corrupt Charge for that plus 30 initial combo and negative 50% combo duration. Then we have this Riven for the ceramic dagger, plus 138.7% heavy attack efficiency, plus 106.5% additional combo count chance, and negative 85.1% puncture. We also have Amalgam Organ Shatter, plus 85% critical damage and plus 60% heavy attack wind-up speed. We have Blood Rush, plus 40% critical chance, stacks with combo multiplier. And we have Sacrificial Steel for that plus 220% critical chance, times 2 for heavy attacks, and that 1.3 damage to sentience, which doesn't really matter. Now, you can also run a melee arcane, and I'm not in this video, but if I was, I would run melee animosity or melee retaliation. Over on the left hand side, we have critical chance at 128%. We have critical multiplier at 2.8 times and status at 20%, dealing mainly corrosive damage for a total of 606.8 damage. Now, with the Incarnon form, it does rely on you heavy attacking. That is why I have Focus Energy, Corrupt Charge, and this Riven that mainly prioritizes heavy attack efficiency, because we always want to have that initial combo with Corrupt Charge. And to be able to use the Incarnon form effectively, that heavy attack efficiency does really help out. With the build out of the way, let's head on over to the Incarnon choices. So with the Incarnon form, Evolution 1, gain a 6 times combo multiplier and then heavy attack to activate the Incarnon form. The heavy attack sends forth spectral daggers, and you also get plus 100% melee damage, 25% sprint speed, and 25% parkour velocity. Evolution 2, you have two choices. You have Gun and Blade, increases damage by plus 100. On primary kill, plus 1 initial combo, stacks up to 100 times. Or you have Breach's Opportunity, increases damage by plus 120. On Shield Break, increases damage by plus 80 for 8 seconds. Both of these choices are pretty good, and I would go with Gun and Blade if I was using a primary weapon, but for this video, I'm just going to be using the melee weapon, so I'm choosing Breach's Opportunity. Evolution 3, you have three choices. You have Orokin Reach for plus 1 range, Adept Reflexes plus 20 initial combo, and Rogue Readiness, on kill 40% chance to instantly reload primary and secondary weapons. Now, I would completely scrap Rogue Readiness because reloading weapons doesn't take that long unless you have a really slow reload speed for a certain weapon. Reach is pretty good, but I would go with that initial combo because we are going to be heavy attacking. And heavy attacking at a 3 times combo multiplier is so much better than heavy attacking at a 0 times. Evolution 4, you have three choices. You have Red Right Hand, on first attack with primary equipped, increases critical damage multiplier by plus 2 times. You have Absolute Dominion, increases status chance by plus 30%. Or you have Absolute Valor, which increases the critical chance by 30%. You could go with either one of these. This seems pretty good, but you do have to attack with your primary weapon equipped first. Increase critical damage by plus 2 could be pretty good, and it does sound pretty good. Status, also you could choose this if you want to make this weapon purely status. I love crit, so I chose Absolute Valor. Now let's head on over to the Simulacrum and test the weapon out. So we are in the Simulacrum, and I'm going to be using Mirage today for these tests. Now, the first round of tests, I'm going to be using just the weapon to see its overall performance, and in the second round of tests, I will use all of Mirage's abilities, just so you can see the minimum and maximum damage output. We're going to be versing 20 Corrupted Heavy Gunners with the Steel Path modifier on, of course, and level 160. And before we get into it, I just want to let you guys know that the standard form isn't as good as the Incarnon form. I will use the standard form a little bit, but don't expect too much. Now, as always, the standard version of this weapon is just the usual melee, but the Incarnon form is where this weapon excels, and this is the standard melee. Just mash B, and you gain that combo multiplier. Once you hit a 6x combo and heavy attack, you will unlock the Incarnon form. And yeah, as I said beforehand, the standard mode of this weapon isn't that good. It does deal some decent damage, but not with a crowd like this. And the Incarnon form is what really sets this weapon apart from the rest. Activate the Incarnon form and you will throw out some of those heat-sinking daggers. And they deal a ton of damage, but they also deal a ton of damage depending on how many stacks you have with your weapon. Say your weapon is at 12 stacks, then you will deal a ton more damage. But yeah, the Incarnon form overall is pretty good, and you can deal some ranged attacks with melees. And have a look at all that status, all of that crit, all those red crits in general. It's just dealing a ton of damage overall. Now, it is a bit annoying since every time you heavy attack and you aim wherever you want to aim, it does lunge you forward, so you kind of have to pull back after you lunge. It is very annoying, but overall the damage and the synergies with this weapon, definitely with Kullervo, take this to a whole nother level. So yeah, you just got to keep heavy attacking. That initial combo allows us to deal a ton of damage because we stay at a 3x, almost 4x combo multiplier. So it's very nice to have that initial combo. If I had initial combo on my Riven, then I would not have used Corrupted Charge, but it is what it is. I still got that heavy attack efficiency. Now, another thing to keep in mind is this Incarnon form deals mainly heat damage with its Incarnon daggers, so you're going to be dealing a lot of heat. You don't really see the corrosive, but the corrosive is there for the armor strip element. I prefer running corrosive. You could run viral or whatever other option you really wanted to. I just prefer corrosive. Now let's use all of Mirage's abilities and we'll see how the damage stacks up. And as you can see, it just takes it to a whole nother level. Look at the amount of damage. Now Mirage is pretty good for this weapon because it is a ranged Incarnon form. So if it wasn't a ranged Incarnon form, I would have used someone other like Kullervo, because his synergies stack up really well with this weapon. But overall, it is dealing some decent damage with those Call of Malevolence clones. And also the Eclipse, even though I am in the dark, so I'm getting damage reduction, I still do a ton of damage nonetheless. And look at this. Now, I want to show you a couple more synergies that I have actually just thought of. One of them is obviously Kullervo synergy with this weapon. So let's just say I was running Kullervo and I had this melee weapon. Now I need to build up that combo multiplier really quickly. And if I use my third, which is linking all of them together, then I heavy attack, you will see that the damage spreads out and you can deal a ton of damage over a wide range. And there we go. This guy wasn't targeted, which does suck, but let's quickly get rid of him. You could also use his first ability to teleport to any enemy and heavy attack. There we go. But it does heavy attack and it does shoot out those daggers. It's only mainly towards one person, so it's not a good viable option. However, linking those enemies is a really good option. There we go. If you had a higher initial combo, then you would be dealing a lot more damage, but 3x combo is pretty good nonetheless. The other synergy I wanted to show you is if you ran Zephyr. Now, Zephyr's 4th ability, you can summon a tornado, and it does group those enemies up, so it can be viable. Because Zephyr's 4th ability summons tornadoes, you can crowd control. Now, if I summon my tornadoes, they all get linked up, and I can just heavy attack into wherever I want within the tornadoes, and you'll be dealing a ton of damage. This is pretty good, however, I think Kullervo's synergy is a lot better. But there are probably other Warframe synergies you could use, mainly with this weapon or any other ranged attack melee weapon. Overall, I think this is a pretty decent way of clearing some Steel Path enemies. Let me know down below your favorite synergy with the Ceramic Dagger, and let's head on over to a real mission to test this weapon out. Level 140 to 145 enemies, and we are on Mott, Steel Path. Obviously, I'm going to be using Kullervo because his synergy is just easier than Zephyr's, and I like running Kullervo. I think Kullervo is a decent frame. I just think his overshield needed to be buffed a little bit. Let's see. So, as always, we should get our Incarnon form, and look at that. Just the easiest Incarnon form to get with that 3rd ability. Link all these guys up, chuck a few daggers, and very easy to map clear. I like this weapon. I do like ranged weapons. I'm a type of Warframe player who likes using primary and secondary weapons over melee. It's not that I don't like melee, it's that I don't find it as fast, and I don't find the time to kill fast. That's why I stay away from them. But weapons like this, which have a ranged ability, I quite like. Because it's just a lot easier. There we go. Chain him again. Could get my overshield back as well. Now, I'm a bit stuck on where I should put this weapon because the Incarnon form is really nice and it's very unique compared to the other Incarnon form weapons, but I don't know. I don't see it as a very, very, very good weapon. I'd see it as probably maybe an A tier, but it's not going to be an S tier because I don't know, it's a lot more finicky than your usual melee build. And I think it relies on its Incarnon form as a crutch. It does rely on multiple factors for you to deal a ton of damage, e.g. Warframe synergies, or just that heavy attack Incarnon form ability. You can build it, and you can use other synergies like the Panzer Wolfenfiler to deal a ton more damage with Viral Element, but I don't like relying on crutches like that. You could also use any Bane mod or any faction mod that you really prefer. I'm not a big fan of using Bane mods or faction mods in general because, I don't know, I like being able to deal damage to all types of factions. There's nothing wrong with using them, I just prefer not to use them. So that's why my builds don't really include faction mods. Look at that. Look at those red crits as well. Just red crit after red crit after red crit. Oh, okay. We've got violence. And she's dead. Look at that. Well, there we have it. That is the Acolyte fight. Gets it done pretty quickly. And if you have any other weapons you want me to make builds on, then please let me know down below in the comment section because I want to start making more weapon builds. And with that being said, thank you guys all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please consider liking, sharing, and subscribing. Everything helps me out. Let me know anything I can improve on, anything you want to see in future videos. That being said, it's been Swim, guys. Later. This synergy is way too cracked. Heavy attacking hurts my thumb though.